Welcome to the Texas Goat Radio Show. I am your host, Botorius. Owen Benjamin is a strange fella. In this clip, he is playing a video of himself saying jokes, ? While laughing at himself. And asking Coddington.
You know, the other cokeheads would be like, God, listen, can I put this on Twitter with the TOS as is? Dude, you're fucking high, man. No, we gotta sell flowers at a funeral, but we grow it in the cemetery. You know, and the cokehead, the nasty cokehead's like, no, dude, I'm telling you, people will pay me to not go to the moon for 50 fucking straight years. And it's like, well, how much would someone pay you to not go to the moon? He's like, $58 million. And someone's like, fuck you. And he goes, a day, every day. $58 million every day to not go to the moon. And I named my first astronaut Buzz, because he's like, why not? And they're like, dude, you're so cranked. And they did it. They literally pulled it off. That can go on Twitter.
Can it, Owen?
Put it on Twitter right now.
I'm so glad that he's back on Twitter. I personally am, and the reason why is because I am a freedom of speech absolutist, okay? And there's a lot of people that don't believe in freedom of speech, especially absolutely. And I can understand some of those arguments. But the reason why I am a freedom of speech absolutist is because if you hinder somebody's ability to say whatever they want, whenever they want, you're allowing the crazies to walk past you and not even know it. You're allowing the crazies to not be known. And whenever I say the crazies, I'm talking, that's a broad spectrum of people, like Nazis, pedos. I don't know if that's a word that gets flagged on YouTube or not. Racists. All the people that you want to that you want to know who they are. And like I thoroughly enjoy like the whole flat earth moon conspiracy theory conversations. I thoroughly enjoy those. Those are genuinely fun to me. But I'm glad that he's back on Twitter. I'm glad that at least he thinks that his attempted jokes are funny. And another thing that's kind of amusing about the situation is he's going to be the first comedian ever to do a 1-hour special without ever trying any of the jokes on stage. And it's it could be a success. I hate being a naysayer, but there's a reason why comedians don't do that. Because in your head, have you ever thought something for years, had a thought, and you agreed with that thought, and then one day you finally mentioned it out loud to somebody, and as soon as you start talking about it, you realize how stupid it is? I don't remember because those types of things, I guess, your brain just erases all that time wasted thinking about that one thing or a couple things or whatever. But, yes. Oh, it's almost over. It's got a minute left. It's crazy how...
It's going on Twitter as we... Oh, I didn't fucking save it. You know, sometimes I can be a real retard. Can you WhatsApp that to me?
All right, that's a good place to pause that. I think we all can be. Yeah, I'm glad that he's on Twitter. I do think it's a dangerous thing that he is on Twitter because his reach is so much bigger than it has been. And he camouflages himself while he's on Twitter, and he lets you know that he's camouflaging himself. He's like, because of Twitter's TOS, I'm gonna throttle it down a little bit. But if you want more, then you know where to find me after I get off of Twitter. But there's a lot of people out there that are thinking that he's genuinely funny, and I haven't been on Twitter since he blocked me. That honestly kind of hurt my feelings a little bit. But you can't run a successful cult if you allow the naysayers anywhere near your new recruits. So I completely understand. I should have held my tongue a little bit is what I should have done, especially directly to him. But you almost start feeling a little fake when you do that, right? But I don't know. Let's pick a random spot. This is from yesterday's live stream.
Self-medicate. That's why they have.
Oh, another thing that I saw, I don't know if I did a video on it or not. Oh, dang it. I was going to do a random spot. But was he not talking about his family being gone for a week? And it was Tuesday. I think it was in this stream. Yeah, it's at the, I don't know. He talks about his family coming home today. So his family left.
But you're getting rid of all your players. I'm like, if he was in a scrum, we'd lose. Why would I want a weak, pathetic piece of shit on my team? Why would I want to be nice to someone that I know will self-destruct? Oh, well, without Crowder, you're nothing. Well, Steven Crowder will probably end up in a mental institution. Okay? That's my prediction. Moving on.
That's ironic. So many people would say the exact same thing about him, about Owen. And for those of you that are actually watching this that disagree with what I'm saying about Owen, my question is for you, what do you think Owen's genuine motivations are for him lying all of the time? Or do you actually believe him whenever he says that he is not a liar? He does not lie. Even though there's hours and hours of footage of him lying. When he talks about Reddit being filled with a bunch of, does he call it NPG? I don't even know what that means. But like paid opposition. Anybody who disagrees with Owen is paid opposition, and they're pedophiles and they're gay. Anybody who disagrees with Owen is a gay, pedophilic, paid opposition. That's not a thing, right? You understand that people can disagree with you without being the epitome of evil, right? Like that's crazy. Who's that dude that he was talking about just now? Anyway.
Okay, just to get ahead of, because I know I'm now a target for a lot of these people, like the NASA guys and all this. And the grifting right, they're all circling their wagons. Oh, man, Owen's really, really fucking us.
How?
It's wild to think I used to go to InfoWars to listen to BB.
Owen. Now, I'm not talking to Owen as though he's listening, but anybody that's listening to this that thinks that he is a target, he is. Obviously, look, just go through my videos, right? At least right now. And the reason why he is the target, at least for me, is because you have to be held accountable. And whenever you put so much propaganda for yourself out there, you have 2 to 3 hours live streams almost every single day, unless you don't get as much money as you want, and then you cut it down to an hour and a half. 3 to 4 hours, usually. And you constantly repeat the same things over and over and over again. That's propaganda. That's exactly what that's what you said that your dad used to teach, rhetoric and wizardry. And what you're doing is you're reinforcing the same lie every single day to a group of people that believe your Hollywood stories, that want to be closer to the Hollywood scene, that wants to feel like they're a part of something that is more important than themselves because they don't have enough self-respect to not be drawn in. And that sounds harsh, but to believe the mask that Owen puts on of he's infallible, he is not a liar. He makes so little mistakes that anybody who says anything negative about him has to lie. Those are direct quotes from him. And you defend him. And you sincerely believe that everybody that says something about him is a paid opposition, and they're gay pedophiles who organized an attack on his wife to try to get a miscarriage. That doesn't even make any sense. That doesn't even make any sense. How would a group of Reddit trolls, if you want to call them that, attack someone's wife to the point to where they have a miscarriage? And this isn't in real life. It's on the internet. That's what he says. They attempted to murder. He said this the other day on live stream. They attempted to murder him and his wife. He is the perfect example of a childlike, delusional, like he's just a dangerous human being. And somebody who is as dangerous as he is, who doesn't allow any kind of discussion as to potential mistakes, is far more dangerous than somebody that allows open debate on their own character. You can be a vile scumbag, a neo-Nazi, just the worst kind of person, right? And if you allow people to call you out and you accept somebody else's point of view on you without getting extremely upset and banning them for life, then you are a better person than Owen Benjamin. Have you ever met someone in real life that absolutely would not entertain any kind of conversation about their behavior in a negative way? They're not a person worth being around. Have you ever known somebody to where they acted in such a way that it was worthy enough to mention their negative behavior, their destructive behavior, and as soon as a negative word about them comes out of your mouth, they blow up and start screaming? That's what I think Owen Benjamin is. And so whenever the ring footage came out on Steven Crowder, which I'll say this, I'm pretty sure the wife had something to do with that. I think the credit was given to some reporter, but either way, they were married for years, at least a few years. And if that was the worst thing that they had on him, which it might not be, it very well could not. I think it probably was, for the simple fact that Steven came back and was like, yeah, if they want to release that, then I am asking the judge to release everything. So I think that was probably the worst that they had on him. But whenever that ring footage came out and Owen kind of changed his tune, he even addressed it. That's the thing about Owen, is that he'll spin a new web very quick whenever it looks obvious that he is a lying sack of potatoes. I'm trying not to cuss and whatnot, clean my language up. He was like, yeah, people are wondering why I'm not gloating as much as... Dude, there's hours of footage of him ripping into him, saying all kinds of vile things. And whenever there's hard evidence of him being not kind of, like it was a very, him saying that he didn't love his wife, like that was rough. His pregnant wife who's carrying his children, like that was a tough thing to see, right? And so for Owen not to gloat as much as everybody knew that he would, if you go back and watch the clip of him talking about it, he mentions the ring footage, but he does not mention anything about the actual material containing in the footage. He doesn't mention it. He doesn't mention anything about what was inside the camera footage at all. He mentions the ring footage, and then it's like his brain edits something, right? And then he starts defending people talking to their spouses in a certain way. He's like, everybody's got something that if it was recorded, then you would be embarrassed. Yeah, that's a true statement, Owen. Care to elaborate? And then he goes on to say, I'm not a white knight. If you tell your wife, if you tell me that you have video camera, if you have footage of somebody telling their wife they can't leave, I'm not even gonna, like, it doesn't matter to me. That's not a thing. It's the man's duty to protect the wife, and that's absolutely correct. But I've always had this theory about people who act a certain way in public. And I remember he addressed this at one point. He was like, I'm not a liar. And so my wife, she'd get mad at me whenever I was mad at her, because I would still act like I was mad at her, and I'd yell at her in public. And she'd be like, dude, stop acting like that right now. We're in public. And he'd be like, what? What? You want me to be fake? It's like, no, dude, it's called couth. Don't embarrass yourself, man. And so if you're willing to act that way, everybody has a public persona and then a private persona. It's a survival mechanism. It's just like lying. That's why whenever you hear somebody say, I don't lie, they are probably one of the biggest liars you've ever met. And their secrets are gross, probably. To have the ability to say, I do not lie, is a very dangerous ability to have. Not only for you, but for everybody around you. Because that means that you not only lie, but you lie to yourself so much that you possibly believe it. So he's a dangerous man. I know I've been rambling a lot. Yesterday was a weird day. Yeah. Anyways. This is the Texas Goat radio show. I'm not too sure what this video was. Yeah, I don't know. But I'm your host, Pretorius, and until next time,